Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're here with another NTW 3 battle for you here today, and this is the Battle of Wertingen, fought in 1805 between the Austrians and the French, and we have a classic showdown here. This is part of the Ulm campaign, which is obviously in history disastrous for the Austrians. For those of you that know your Napoleonic history, an entire Austrian army is surrounded and annihilated by Napoleon and his marshals. And yes, the Battle of Wertingen is part of said campaign. You have Franz von Orffenberg with his corps, who is trying to force a breakout in and around Wertingen, which is near Ulm. And yes, this is a battle between Murat and Lannes, who managed to stop and defeat Orffenberg and force him back towards Ulm, and Mack, his commander-in-chief. And in today's game, we don't have an Orffenberg corps, sadly enough, so we are using some replacements which would be appropriate and balanced, because I think both sides have same points, I think, because we have 3 Lannes and we have a Murat as well. I think Murat is somewhere back here forming up as we speak. But we do have a Bellegarde, we have a Pluon, I think it is, which is like the Italian theatre, but works quite well in this one here as well. And then we're back here, we do have 2 Macks, which I guess are sort of more like your Orffenberg sort of corps, because he is part of Mack's force in the end of the day. And yeah, also this is it's technically a French victory, but it sort of ends in a sort of pretty good Austrian withdrawal. And they have a fair amount of grenadiers, which we do have here actually in Bellegarde's force. We have a lot of grenadiers here. Oh boy. And yeah, they managed to form squares. They managed to prevent Murat from basically annihilating this force. I mean, the French outnumber this army by quite a lot in history. They have 12,000 troops. The Austrians have around about 5,500. But the French lose about 300 troops, and the Austrians lose about 400 and have about 2,900 captured. But yes, it could have been even worse, and the remaining troops could have been captured if it wasn't for the grenadiers that come up and manage to sort of form squares and sort of prevent the defeat. But I mean, even still, I think they form square and then Oudinot's grenadiers like come in and do a big old charge. So we'll see whether we have them here today, because Oudinot is available in Lannes' corps. He is a grenadier unit, so it'll be interesting to see how this one goes down. I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, it should be a really, really fun one. It was a battle we did on the stream a little while ago, and it was a really, really fun, well-balanced match. We don't have to do scenarios nowadays on stream, try and just get on with custom games, but this was one that was pretty simple. It's a death match. You just have to annihilate the other side. There's no real objective. Wertingen, there's not a lot described about it, and sort of like any major sort of I don't know, really strong points that are like centered around it, so it's just easy to do as a land battle. And yeah, it's a pretty good battle map for Wertingen. It's a German map, I believe, so makes perfect sense for it to be done on this one. But yes, if you're enjoying NTW3 and would like to see some more Napoleonic action, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and as well, if you want to get involved in any of these battles and these scenarios, and feel free to join the Discord. The link is down below in the description. And if you're a regular NTW3 player yourself and you've got some replays that you want to send in, do send them in to my Discord as well. And make sure you have a screenshot of the end results. That's always very key, because otherwise we won't know what's really gone on and who was participating in it. Because sadly, end results don't appear without at the end of NTW3 replays. You just need to get the screenshot beforehand, like at the end of the game, so everyone can see who participated and who did well and who didn't. We've got artillery dueling here for the French and for the Austrians. They are both just, you know, testing the water, seeing who's strongest and where. France does have a huge column of infantry set up here. They are in cover of by the town here. I think these are mostly just all line infantry. I can't see anything like grenadier-like just yet. There are some Laguerre, some light infantry here as well. Yeah, it looks like mostly light infantry. It doesn't look like it's going to be a melee army. I mean, most of these troops can melee pretty well. 1805, the Grande Armée is at its peak of its powers. There's full of veterans. It can shoot pretty well. It can melee really well. And I'm talking like line infantry as well, not just even like just the lights. The lights obviously can shoot incredibly well. But yeah, even like the line infantry is all pretty reasonable. Austria is going to just have to rely on mass, which is kind of what you have to do as Austria. And you have to basically just, you know, try and kill off enough French that there are, you know, like even if they get through your first line, they can't get through your second and maybe even your third line. That is what you have to rely on. So yeah, Austria, like a requirement, you have to bring 2,500, 3,000 minimum, if not more, just to try and get through. Obviously, these forces can fall like a deck of cards. You take out a little bit of it at the bottom, and it's all going to come tumbling down. Most of these units here, though, can form square, which I think was what Bellegarde was going for. It wasn't necessarily going for a very big army, but was going for a very squareable army, so could counter Murat. Since they spawned out here as well, the two armies, the 9 and the 10, the idea that the French could potentially catch them unawares before Max even set up and arrived. They were like, we need to form square. We're going to need mass on our side as well, just so we can then contain these 4 armies, or really 3.5 armies if you count Murat. As a full army, I don't really know if you can. It's a very good army, but it needs support. Cav obviously needs infantry support to be effective. But yes, they were planning to basically be hit hard on their own, so why so many squares are being brought. Even this 9 point here has got no squares though. It's just going for mass, I believe. Which, I don't know where the 9... Yeah, the 9's also over here actually as well, so they are kind of mixed in this. They have got a lot of assets, that's for sure. Looks like France is shifting around. After that first little engagement there, where Austria lost a couple of infantry to a French hussar there, hasn't really been too much in the way of action. I am going to make a quick cut, I think, because I think there is quite a lot of build-up. So I'll see you guys in a moment while the French reposition, because they are going all the way around here. Spoilers. They're going to go all the way around here and come and attack the Max from this position, which is going to be the end of the Austrian position. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a moment when the Austrians and the French are ready for battle. Hey, so we are back, and yes, it's hotting up a little bit. A small French advance, which literally came to nothing. A building has been captured as well while we've been away. But yeah, the French hit. They advanced with some Laguerre. They were like, you know what, we're going to test the water, see what's going on there. And I think 4 unfortunate Frenchmen here getting gunned down for their crimes there. We also have some Carabineers back here, which is a Grenadier light infantry. Very, very handy unit. There has also been some farming going on over here from the French, which just, yeah, making sure that these Austrian units do not return. Very cheeky of the French, just farming and upping their kills. Austria's had none of it, and they're going to send forward some of their hussars and their infantry here, which looks like quite a bit of it can form square as well over here as well for Mac. I mean, as long as some can to stop those cuirasses, which we've yet to see in action. But they are here, that is for sure. But yeah, it should be soon hotting up, because yeah, as you can see, the French are now behind, as I mentioned, and the Austrians are going in. We're charged. We've got some Uhlans going in. Going to go for the French light cav here, by the looks of it. And I don't think they're going to get them. Put it like that. In they go. I don't know why we have such silence. There you go. In they go. Charging on in. And they should, I think, just about, yeah, but they're not going to get those light cav. And yeah, in go the Carabineers. They're going to just make sure that they kill off the Austrian cavalry without any issue there. And there you go. I mean, that has unveiled a lot of the French forces over here, including some of those beard cuirassiers. That will be exciting to see how they do. But yeah, plenty of heavy cav are ready to go, and lots of line infantry forming up here. So this is going to be the point that the French attack. It makes sense geographically as well. There is a bit of a forest down the center here, but they can go through this town, try and use that against the Austrians, which the French will prefer going into melee and trying to go against the Austrians toe-to-toe in this town in a big open field, or more importantly across a river, which is going to be really tough here. The Austrians have all the advantages. There is some French forces here still tying down Bellegarde, but the Austrians, as you can see here, are already sending out cavalry and realizing that the French are gone. We also have Austrian cav way in behind over here of one of the Mac corps that is just, you know, bothering the French, trying to draw away light cav and maybe potentially go for a general kill once the cavalry is all in looking forwards. and is no longer looking in behind. I was also surprised that they could see this. This was hidden for ages. And I had this cav out here. I was like, there's no way they can see this. But they, you can see multiple cav now dashing over. Just go and bother it. I'm pretty sure there was some stream sniping going on. Another huge cuirassier here being shifted again, just to reinstate the point. The French are going to be slamming in here. I mean, there is a pretty solid line of Austrians waiting. These guys can't form square, though. Some of them can. They're all in the forest, though, which probably isn't where they need to be. They probably need to be out in the open field with the guys that can form square. We have got units in the building already. We have grenadiers here ready to go, and have a whole bunch of more grenadiers just sat behind, ready to go into melee if needed. And there's also horse artillery here, just being a pain. Yeah, still waiting for the French to make any sort of moves. Franz actually is starting. Well, he's doing some shooting over here. It's as far as he's got when it comes to actually engaging the Austrians on this flank here. They're just doing a little bit of shooting with their Legere, blasting away, and it looks like, I mean, there's not really anything going on. This, I think they're just shooting at Hungarian grenadiers. They actually really can't even hit because they're just in and around that building. They are leveling this building here. It's not. There are no LOCs in this game. Like I said, it's a death match, so you could level every building if you wanted to, and there is no repercussions. But it looks like, I don't know, it looks like the French might be getting ready to go forward here. They are mobilizing by the looks of it. He has got the grenadiers very close, just in case the French make a dash for that building to try and take it themselves. He is getting ready. But yeah, here we go. The French are actually going on this side first, rather than on the other flank. Whether this is just a test of waters or whether this is going to be a full-out assault. Murat is not over here, by the way, now. As we've seen, he's shifted to the other flank. And there go the Hungarians. They're going to dash into the building immediately. Where the French are just going to level that building with the Hungarians inside, potentially. Also, the French might just shoot the rest of the guys that are outside the building. 140 of them. Only 75 can fit inside. But here we go. Yeah, Austria is forming up. We have more Hungarians going into the building here. They're capturing that one as well. And the French are going to be committing here. This is looking like a fully fledged assault here from France. And we've got Legere here. I mean, they're taking on multiple units of Grenzers here and the building. They're getting absolutely just destroyed there. Orange lining. And just like that, France is withdrawing. The assault lasted about 5 seconds. They are still going in over here. This is looking like they're more likely of the spot they're going to attack. That other LOC looks like they might just ignore for now. But yeah, they're going to try to hit the building. There's a very narrow front that the French are fighting on. That is a grenadier going in. You can tell the red epaulettes on their shoulders. And I don't know who's doing that really. Losing slightly of the Hungarians apparently. But the French having to go in a really awkward way. They have to go literally past the Austrians to get into the building from this entry point here. Which also is not doing them any benefits, and they are losing that fight because of that. But France really needs to ship forward more infantry who's going to support that fight, I feel like. So he gave his infantry a bit more of a cleaner assault. Still nothing going on the other side. It's all still really taking place here. And France is going to give ground. He has given up. He is, I think, at this point just a distraction. If he can tie down the 10 point, then yeah, he's doing okay. He's outpointed by 1 point. Lannes is a 9, and he's fighting a 10 here, so it is going to be tough. But elsewhere, French and the outpoint the Austrians heavily. We have a couple of 9s over here for Lannes, and also Murat, which is what, like a 12 or something, I think, or is it a 10? Can't remember. It's maybe also a 9. In his 1805 form, it's certainly not as strong as like its later forms. Like 1806, which I think is its strongest form of 12. But here we go. They're going to carry on forward. It looks like light cav is going in. They're going to try and go for the guns here, I think. That are setting up. We've got some 5-pounders here, but there is cav just waiting. SARS here, ready to deal with them, and the light cav getting out of there. We're going to have some good volleys there from the Austrian infantry, and here comes the French. They are now mobilizing, it looks like, and they're going to go in and through the town here. We'll see what damage they can get done. We've got a cuirassier back here actually for the Austrians. It is part of the Mac Corps, and it's number 6 Mac as well. It's named after him. Here we go. Artillery firing away. You've got to keep those French at bay. Keep that heavy cav as far away from the lines as possible. If they go through the town, that is pretty good in a way for the Austrians, because it means that the Murat Corps is not going to be easily able to be used. Cav in a town, not really going to work too well. Looks like this heavy cav here is ready to go just down the road and just hope and pray it can break through the Austrians here. We have got some like formations forming up here just to try and get crossfire. If they do try and go into melee, the French are going to get hit from a different angle. They are just shelling this building 85%. They might just destroy it entirely. But again, if we just leave the building and then just re-enter it, if the French try to make a dash for it, that's probably the best play. And we are back. So yeah, unfortunately the replay did crash, but we are pretty much back at where we left off. As you can see here, the Grenadiers are leaving this building once again. Again, just preparing to just charge it back in once the French make their move. If they do go for the building, which they might do, or they might just level it themselves. Got a whole bunch of infantry moving forward here. We've got Laguerre as well forming up, coming in, ready for to melee, it looks like. And what have we got there? We've got the Carabineers that we saw earlier. So this is obviously going to be the main assault over here. Already, actually, some of these infantry are already orange line, just getting hit by artillery here. That is pretty insane. In go the Grenadiers once again, entering the building. And immediately, they're going to be faced with some Laguerre to face off against, which is going to be probably dealable, I would imagine, for the Austrians. The Grenadiers, most of their Grenadiers are pretty solid. And they can probably deal with that. And there go some infantry there of the Austrians going in against Laguerre as well, making sure these guys can't progress past the building, and they are already losing, and that is unfortunate there for the Austrians. Yet, I mean, that is probably going to be the case in most situations. To go Hussars here, I don't know if they're going to maybe just try and save the guns. Potentially here, we've got the Laguerre that are going to get a rush. We've got Austrian Grenadiers as well moving forward, and yet the guns are going to get taken. Actually, no, they're not. They're going to be saved by the building. That was lucky, that is for sure. Artillery here firing onto the cavalry. It's kind of getting a little bit chaotic here with who's going where. Austrian Grenadiers did lose actually in that building there. I don't know what took it. I think just some regular French infantry. I don't think it's the lights. Maybe it is. No, I think both lights and Grenadiers are both routed. France is sending more troops. And we've got Austrian Grenadiers fighting now outside the building, but not inside the building. All chaos is starting to take place here as the French send in more and more infantry in and around the building. And in comes the cavalry. This is a heavy cav going in, going for the guns. Cuirassiers going in with armored horsemen, the knights of their age. And they managed to take out the guns. Squares have fallen behind. There's no real nothing we can do to save them. Over here looks like cavalry and also maybe some infantry here have been routed by the Cuirassiers. Others have formed square, I think. Actually, they haven't. They haven't even formed square. They're just standing and looking. They need to form square. They are falling back. It looks like both sides are just giving ground. The French there a little bit spent. Austria already just looking pretty battered and needing more forces over here. There's already infantry way out over here that needs to shift to the center to try and hold there. Mackel's been forced back over here again by more melees. France, yeah, going in over here, going to deal with these Schutzen very nice and easy. Down the line, looks like most of the French army, as you can see here, is shifted. And Bellegarde's doing the same, also shifting, trying to get there. France is obviously going to try and slam into the side of Mack here. That is the plan. Here comes more Cuirassiers going in. Brace, men of Austria. There you go. These guys did form squares. Maybe they didn't rear up, so I think squares were formed. A lot of Austrians, though, are starting to return. More Cuirassiers going in. They're going into a forest. Can't be a good place for them to really go in, but they might win this, to be honest. These Austrians are redlining. There you go, they are. This is actually looking pretty catastrophic here for the Austrians. Some of these guys form square, but not all. Austria very much well and truly forced back from the village. There's some infantry here. I don't know if they're in that building. I think they are still fighting in that building. I'm not sure. They're battling here with some carabineers as well. Both in their mitre hats, well, more like bearskin for the the French. Looks like we're going to see more grenadiers in the moment we get sent in. Cavalry charging in once again. Squares are still here. This unit can't form square though. And France has worked that out and they've gone in for that charge there. That might just shatter the Austrian line, we'll see. Carabineers forced back in. Now the grenadiers can have a straight shot at the building if they want it. I think they are going to go in. Austria here just needs to try and hold form square. Fire onto these cuirassiers. They've broken that one. Heavy cav here for Austria just kind of recharged their infantry. Definitely did not work. And those cuirassiers have been forced back. More heavy cav though coming forward for the French here. And over on this side here as well, another big offense being made here against Austrian grenadiers. As we said earlier, these guys were the responsible units for holding back the French initially to start with. Building has been recaptured there. The Austrian grenadiers are back in this building, surrounded by a sea of French right now. And the fight goes on. I don't know if these guys are in square. I think they were initially. We've got more grenadiers going in, Hungarians there going in. And just like that, the building lost again. We're getting a little bit of a lag spike there for some reason. And we've got heavy cav again coming in, going in for the gaps, and can see a general here as well. Mac is open. Again, these units can't form square here, and they could be in danger. And the square there fired on at close quarters. The only choice they have is to form square and hope that they survive the cuirassiers. But if infantry comes up to shoot the squares, they're going to get through. And look at that, France is through pretty much. We've got dragoons going in, charging in. They are routing some of these French, but again, more infantry over here breaking. The grenadiers in some isolated pockets holding the line for now, but that is it. Over on this side here, Austria is absolutely gunning down the French right now. We've got some... This is a heavy cav. No, this is a huge dragoon, though. Massive dragoon here. I presume this is also part of Murat's corps. Just stood here. I don't know whether the Austrians could just shoot that freely. They need to try with some artillery or some infantry. They are absolutely gunning down the French here. And the French need to get in the melee. They don't want to be in a line fight with the Austrians. Especially against things like Grenz and stuff like that. But right now, France is smashing their way through the Austrian right. Austrian left looking really good, and centre is doing okay. There are some gaps that are starting to be damaged. The Grenadiers here are taking a lot of losses. They, again, probably don't want to be shooting. They are pretty good at shooting, are the Austrian Grenadiers. A bit of a jack of all trades. But they'd rather be meleeing, I imagine. Got a sort of a second line being formed up again. Heavy cav going in. Looks like they are going in for infantry here. It's formed square. At least there's a bit of a mess going on here. We've got Jaegers and all sorts of kind of mixed in here that are just kind of getting in the way of the actual line infantry. France is taking advantage of the chaos and sort of meleeing everything here. That is going to be causing morale issues for these units that are still standing. Cavalry here, Cuirassier going in. It's going in unsupported as well, just doing a charge just into French infantry, which may be able to form square anyway. It's a pretty poor charge. And they're just going to get side charged as well by heavy cav here if they want to do. They can just like come in, hit the side of this Cuirassier and rout that if they want to. Or they can take advantage and just go for any of these non-square units, but he is going to go for the side charge into Cuirass, which tried to encircle the French here by withdrawing from that melee. It's just routed itself. So yeah, poor move there from the Austrian player, and his centre is breaking again. And Laguerre going in down the line. It's still not looking good for the Austrians here. France has gone into melee here, and it looks like a dragoon unit going in. They might break this unit here. I think it forms square, but it's getting charged by infantry as well. Grenadiers there scare off the dragoons. That huge dragoon is still very much alive. France is getting shredded though, as you can see here. They lost that gunfight and are now on the retreat. They've charged into melee here, I think, and they've lost out. As you can see, these units already, I think, have gone in. They got beaten back. Bellegarde is doing a great job here, absolutely destroying the French in front of him. The dragoon here is still very much alive. I'm surprised I didn't go in and support in a melee fight. Maybe he knew that these guys would form square. Who knows? To the right, it's still not looking great. Oh, a bit of a fim going on there from one of the Austrian players. That has actually routed the Laguerre there. Need to be careful not to fim. That is cheating. Again, I mean, I don't think that was a fim. That was a last-minute volley. I'll give that. But yeah, it's still the Austrians are on breaking point. A lot of units here that are failing to form square, which could have formed square. A light cav here going in and just charging Austrian infantry. And again, over here, looks like we've got Cuirassiers barely... Well, no, they're barely holding on. I was going to say the Austrians are barely holding on against the Cuirassiers. They're nearly through. They need infantry support, really, though, because they're charging, and they're just charging unsupported now without infantry. These squares here, just basically islands of resistance against the heavy cav. But the French infantry is starting to thin out. There is, you know, there is still a substantial amount of it. There's still enough to go get through. If they can team up with the Murat Corps, they can definitely still smash their way through. Especially with all these routing Austrians getting in the way of reformed line being formed up. You can see here the 9-point has decided to fall back and has given himself plenty of space so that his infantry is in the way there. The Mac just going in with an Ulan. Again, unsupported. This other Mac player that I was playing with just sending in a lot of cav and forlorn hope charges here. Giving charge here again by heavy cav. As unit conform square, not much you can do about that, and that's going to be another routed Austrian. Forming square in other areas, just needs to do that, just to stop blasting these Cuirassiers. Just start weakening them bit by bit. It needs to be done. And there you go. I mean, Austria on the left is looking really, really good right now. They're in a really good state. Some of the French starting to return here as well. I mean, they need to get their cav back. It's going to be their real punching power, is that cav. I presume the Dragoon's still alive, yet still over here. It didn't ever commit. It's pretty much a heavy cav in its own right. Hussar here going in. I think this is the cav I had in the back. It's now being dashed over here to try and support against the Dragoon. Square's been formed though. And in goes the Hussars. And that's going to be a nice little cav charge there. And it should be hopefully a win for the Austrians. The Austrian left is now pushing on against the French here, and they are now falling back. They're going to probably use the town as their defense, if not withdraw from the town as well. Austria on the right can also push, and most of these units can form square, and we just need to keep pushing because we can just move forward. If they decide to charge us, just form square. It's easy as that. Just form square and avoid any sort of catastrophe. If infantry comes up, that is when the problem is. That is where the issue is. Yeah, I'm pretty much out in this game. I took the first hit, really, from the Cuirassiers and the infantry, which was like the most effective that the French were. It took a pounding. And then my ally is sort of still alive as well as a Mac. There are 2 Mac corps just about still alive. French here are farming down Austrians as well, and it looks like they're finally going to get rid of that French unit as well with the Ulans. Potentially. Maybe not. Maybe the Ulan's going to get routed here. There you go. Finally got rid of that French cavalry. That took a little bit of time. And France going in again, just sending in random isolated units in melee. I don't think that's a wise idea either. So we've got plenty of grenadiers for the Austrians that are alive here. This is the 9-point with the Hungarians here, blasting these poor French units here. I don't know if they just were too slow to get out or what, or whether the player just sent them in just to try and slow down to get the major force out. A lot of these units are battered though. They're looking very small. And right now, Austria looks like it's going to be changing history. Orphanberg, who isn't here, is going to be avenged. But my gosh, it looks... I mean, it's not over yet, because they still have cav alive, and these Cuirassiers are still pretty powerful. I mean, and they've got this Dragoon as well, which is also a scary, scary Dragoon. I don't know where most of the Cuirassiers are. I think they're over on this other flank over here, causing issues. They're for some reason sprinting around. Don't know what they're doing, but they are sprinting around. I don't think they're going to come in for a charge. That's what they're going to do here. Onto these units. These can form square though, so that is going to be what they're going to do. I mean, there's infantry up here, which is exactly the duo that France needs. Yeah, they're just going to form square. Volley going to be fired off. Very nice. That is going to do some damage there to the Cuirassiers, and they're going to get out of there. Red lining. Now they just need to come out of square and just deal with the Legere in front of them. Oh, but yeah, look at that. If you fire a volley into a square, it does so much damage. But yeah, the French just forming up a column here. It's very like cheeky little tactic, but you can do it. More infantry up here should scare off the French though, and that building has been taken. I think I actually took it back with one of my infantry units, which I was like, yes, I'm glad I took it back, no one else. Oh, and that unit there could have formed square. Maybe yeah, it should be able to. It's not that low on numbers, but yeah, they routed there. Might be able to rout the Cuirassier. Those squares being formed on either side of it. Good volley there. That should be the Cuirassier gone, to be honest. There it is. It's cost us 2 Austrian units, but that is a pretty good result there. Oh my gosh, there's still so many heavy cav. Maybe the French aren't out. They are not out just yet. And my torment with heavy cav is not over just yet either. Another charge. They're going to just come in and they're going to form square. They need to. Yep, square's formed. And again, the Austrians just repulse that cavalry. And they got some pretty good volleys off in line. And there you go, that's another heavy cav gone. Murat kind of throwing his heavy cav away in wasteful charges. And like I said, without infantry support, he needs the infantry to really just go in and pin stuff. And then just send in the heavy cav. Like now this infantry should be going in, pin this square here. Melee. Here comes the heavy cav. This is a really healthy one as well. That's just charge head on at a square as well. Now they bring forward the infantry, but the French I just don't think have enough mass to deal with the Austrians at this point. They are running on fumes. They're relying on like shooting, try and get their way through stuff. Yeah, look at this. I mean, this is the tactics they were doing. I was like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? I should really move forward with this Austrian infantry here. But, I mean, it is shooting the cuirassiers passively. I'm happy to lose an infantry unit if we weaken this heavy cav more and more. Still waiting to see what the... there we go, heavy cav going in. What's a charge? A non-squareable, actually. This is the 9 point now taking all the hits, and he did have a lot less squares. This is the weak point. This is the person to really go for. I mean, they're not the French with the no, and they don't have the knowledge that we do of what can square and what can't. But the 9 point was the one to hit because it had like just mass, not squares. And there you go, another cuirass going in again on an unsquareable. If France was to back these up with infantry now, would be huge. Probably maybe try and turn this fight around. A lot of Austrians here are, you know, like just formed up behind. It would just cause a bit of a domino effect. They are shooting their own troops as well here, which is probably doing some damage. But honestly, they probably don't care. Austrian lives matter less than cuirassier lives do. And some of those Austrians have been routed. Hungarians behind, trying to hold off the French here, and a good old melee fight in the town is still carrying on. Wertingen is, you know, seeing a lot of action here in this one little hamlet of a town. And there you go. That's a bit more of a duo there. So French infantry and cavalry going in, and the cav kind of just charged its own infantry a little bit there. Squares have been formed. This one could do with forming square preparation, to be honest. Yeah, you can see, I mean, the Austrians are kind of like on the flank here. It's not like huge amounts of troops on the flank here. Just falling in on the Russian flank. And over here, this is where the 10-point Bellegarde, with his very healthy army, is moving in. They should really honestly just push further forward. They are a bit too far away for my liking. They could probably just start to slam into the side of the French. And also probably try and support the 9-point a little bit more. They're not quite the same point. And there you go, my general is killed, unfortunately. I don't even know how he's killed. I think he's shot by friendly fire from a square. That was it, yeah, because there's heavy cav in the back here, or is it heavy cav? No, there's a dragoon unit in the back here. It's been dealt with by the Uhlans, but yeah, it was trying to go for my general. And there you go, in the end, it actually just gets routed, both sides rout each other. But yeah, the square, because it was shooting at the cav in the back, shot my own general. I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then such a Pope-esque way to lose a general, to be honest. Such a Pope-esque way. Light cav here going in, failing to do much. It's routed that infantry, but it's going to get much further than that. Really should be trying to use this light cav to go for generals. That would be the best sort of result right now. Get rid of that. Any Austrian generals, if it could do that, that might also cause a bit of a mass rout, to be honest. And there you go. It looks like they're farming down that dragoon, which is probably a good idea, to be honest. Make sure that stays gone. Yeah, finally we are pushing. You see here, yeah, my army, which some of these troops over here, I think it is like half of the MAC troops here is mine, was left. Pushing forward, no morale. Over on this side here, Bellegarde just needs to keep going. The French are just leaving them in the dust. The French can outpace. I don't know where France is going, whether they're falling back to this town over here, I think is their object, like their new sort of like position that they want to hold. Whether they're just trying to bait the Austrians out, try and stretch them out, try and get the cuirass to do some damage. At this point, the Austrians vastly outnumber the French, and the writing is on the wall for the French. They've sent in a lot of cuirass. It didn't really do a lot, and like I said, unsupported as well. The Grenadiers, still so many of them. They're going to be so used to going into melee if it comes to melee against the French. They don't want to probably melee too much, because there's still like, yeah, at least 3 cuirasses left. They're definitely not, I don't think, at full strength. But evidently, I mean, look at that. Like, France still has so much cav. I mean, they have always outnumbered the Austrians, I think, in cavalry in this scenario. But they still have a lot. Austria known for its cavalry, obviously. And there we go. Hussar going in. Actually, a good general here. It's like just like meleeing and going melee. For some reason, they're just ignoring him. He's pulling out of combat. Shouldn't be doing either. There you go, France. Setting up his infantry, just going to blast these hussars, I think. Could shoot his own general here, but I mean, if they kill this general, I mean, we haven't killed any at this point. Probably have forces left, and there you go, didn't manage to get him. Yeah, but the Grenadiers is going to go in. All part of the plan, really. And they again pull out a melee, which they shouldn't do. But no, you're not allowed to pull out a melee with infantry. You can do it with cavalry if you're engaging infantry and charging through back, like we saw it so many times with the Grenadiers. But by doing that, by pulling out his infantry, he's just giving the general, the infantry a free shot at the general. And they should rout everything actually instead. So it didn't really actually achieve anything. He's actually sending in a second infantry unit. And the Grenadier, again, that's not going to stop the Austrians. There you go, that's 3 French routing units there, one of them being a general. And the Austrians are going to keep coming forward, keep plodding on forward. French cab dashing about. Oh, it's going for the Austrian cab that's way in behind over here. Yeah, this is a tiny little Ulan here. It's getting chased by, looks like, some chasseur cheval. Just need to keep on moving forward. Mack here just needs to keep pushing. The French aren't standing their ground. It's charged. What is charging? Oh, is it the Austrians charging from that distance? Oh, they actually might catch these guys. Yeah, the Hungarians are going to catch them. There you go. Routing another French unit here. And squares formed again. Cuirassier charging in. It really should be infantry charging that, I feel like, in the town. And then Cuirassier maybe going in again to back it up. At this point, though, Murat is like, and his cuirassiers is just being used as a way to slow down the Austrians, force them to form square, stop them from advancing. That's their only purpose there is left. Their sort of offensive capabilities are certainly being nullified bit by bit. And it looks like, again, yeah, he's just trying to use the cuirass, maybe to try and stop this infantry getting into the building. I don't really know. He didn't form square this time, I don't. Oh, no, he has. There you go. Yeah, not going to be a great charge. Not the terrain you want to be charging around on as a French cuirassier through winding streets. And a little line fight being formed. The Guerre here has seen a lot of action. They are weak as well. General being killed. That's I think that is the foot general that we saw earlier. They got routed. He's just been farmed down by someone. And there you go, the Laguerre take one volley from the Austrians and they get routed. And to be honest, they're just flanking around them as well. Building has been occupied by the Austrians. They are now in that building, which is a good idea. Yeah, the French are going in there. It looks like they're going to try melee. Squares weren't formed here, even though they could have been. And the cuirassiers actually get another last-minute kill. And the French are looking like they're going in, but they're going to have to go all the way around, which just kind of means they just walk right past infantry here. And they're just going to get shot, yeah, and routed here. So that's just unfortunate. It's the annoying thing about some buildings in Napoleon. And there you go, French cav over here, looks like. One of them got routed, but it looks like they're going to fall back with the remains. It's all light cav here as well. Looks like they're going to hold on this road. And maybe use this road to escape again. This was kind of getting a little bit annoying when we're like trying to doing cat and mouse, because we can catch them. We don't necessarily have all the cavalry capabilities to do that. Oh, Austrians are going to get charged there, and they're probably going to get routed. The Lancers need a charge, and they did not get it there from that Mac player. Yeah, we're just going to fast forward a little bit, just see whether the Austrians and the French actually do get into melee soon, or into any sort of engagement, to be honest. But yeah, you can see it looks like already Bellegarde over here sending Grenzers way off to the flank now to try and cut off any sort of escape. They're pretty much by the red line as well, are the French. They are running out of space and places to escape too. Eventually, they are just going to have to stand their ground. This is kind of annoying and just scummy from the French players. They knew the game was over instead of just prolonging it. Especially when we were doing this live and we were trying to get a second game underway as well. Obviously, yeah, you want to try and, you know, stay alive. But when the chances of victory are, like, minimal or impossible, and the objective was just a deathmatch, it's not even LOC. Look at that general escaping. What a coward. Might as well, like I said, just stand your ground. Murat as well, looks like he's trying to escape with his heavies. And the Austrians here should not be shooting, they should be trying to charge in. I know that Murat is here. Most of his units can form square though. There's obviously still the risk that France could cause an upset and get a good charge off here. And to be honest, this unit might be able to might not be able to form square. It's going to get charged here by Cuirassiers. Nope, it's still formed square. And looks like the Dragoons as well are going to get stopped by Grenzers in a moment here. And all of a sudden the destruction of the French might be about to begin. Finally, I think they've accepted they're just going to have to charge in. Form up, Grenadiers. Prepare for one last volley. And yeah, here we go. I mean, look at this. This is the Cuirassiers going in once again. They've been routed, finally. Some light cav going forward here. They might try and go for some generals. There are a couple that are available to take out. And yeah, the infantry here just pushing forward. Again, if they had Cuirassier support, which is busy again back here in the back lines, don't know what it's doing. They could have maybe charged in. I mean, most of these guys can form square though, so the Cuirassiers wouldn't have achieved much. Infantry going in. There goes the light cav as well, charging the side of French infantry, which forms square, fully enough. Heavy cav coming in. They are charging units that are also already in melee, so they won't be able to form square. That's not a bad idea. And Austria pretty much withstood that charge pretty well from the French infantry and cavalry. Here comes another heavy cav. Doesn't look like these Grenadiers are going to form square there this time. Another general killed. In charge there. Grenadiers holding just about. They're redlining at points. Squares either side of them supporting. Infantry here routed by the Cuirassiers. They got another last minute kill. The French infantry going in, trying to get through these Grenadiers and these Grenzers, trying to find some way to escape. They are getting slowly encircled. The forces of Mac arriving as well. Charging Cuirassiers with bayonets twirling. It's a brave decision from the Austrian infantry here. The Mac's corps, which has been terrorized by Cuirassiers all game. My infantry charging into one of the final fresh French infantry and being routed there. General being killed off. That's Murat, I think, gone. And that is game, pretty much. That is the French gone. There was one random building all the way over here that's not been captured, and they couldn't get the unit out of there. It's bugged. But I'm not going to put you guys through the enduring seeing that take place. Funnily enough, my general routes that building when we get over there. It just kind of walks and gets close, and it routes the unit, because my general has returned, and he's just kind of wandering around. He's over there with 8 men. Yeah, that's pretty much the destruction of the French army. Wertingen is going to be a change of history. Austria is going to win. The encirclement at Ulm is going to be broken, and there will be an escape route for the Austrian armies to get back to Vienna. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a moment with the end results. So here we are with the end results. So you should have hopefully got a screenshot of them up there. Hopefully future Pope has put them up. But yeah, well done to everyone that took part in this one. I was playing this one. I got absolutely battered in this one. I think I got like somewhere around like 850 odd kills. But yeah, and then we've got like the rest of the kills. I think Icky did really well. He got like 1800. I think he's got around about that amount. G did pretty well as well on our side. Those two on the left hand side really changing the the fate of the battle because myself and co-planner yeah, had a pretty rough game as Mac, that's for sure. I mean, I took an absolute beating and just kind of wasn't able to get kills because I just was too busy dying. But yeah, well done to Johnny, to Yeet, to Mika and Word as well. All did a really good job. Johnny had a bit of a rough time fighting off against Icky. I believe he got outpointed there. But yeah, Yeet did a pretty good job as Murat. For someone that doesn't play as Murat, got well over 1,000 kills, which is very impressive. Mika did very well, making a good push. Got the most kills for his team, around about 1,700, and then Word as well, also doing well, getting well over 1,000 kills himself. But yeah, really good game. Honestly, at one point, did look like the French were going to win that one. And yeah, they nearly did break through on our right, their left, with the Kirasis there and Mika's push, but wasn't to be in the end. The Bellegarde and the Pluan managed to break through on the left-hand side and swing around and eventually save what remained of Mac's cause. But we'll have a quick look at the kills. These are from my perspective, so yeah, not huge kills because I got, I think, by far and away the least amount of kills. My Grenadiers doing reasonably well holding the building, but yeah, nothing insane and noteworthy, really. But that is the Battle of Wertingen. I hope you did enjoy, and you do want to see more NTW3 historical battles. Do check out the videos appearing on your screen now. Some great ones there. But until next time, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.